Hi, so during the process of this video I demonstrated certain culinary techniques and I cooked 3 dishes. The first being beef tartare, the second chicken ballotine, and the third a chicken liver pate. So usually my work plan would be set in one day, but due to some unpredictable circumstances I had to do it in 3 different days. So on the first day I cooked my beef tartare. The work plan for this looked like this. So I started by making my mise en place for a baguette, and what that looked like was cutting up my bread, putting the oil and the salt on the bread, and then throwing it in the oven at 375. I did this until it was golden brown. While the baguette was in the oven, I set up my beef tartare's mise en place. Once it was set up, I then proceeded to mix the ingredients together and place it into a cylinder on a plate, and then proceeded to put a quail yolk on top of the beef tartare as a nice garnish. On the second day, I made my chicken liver pate. So for this work plan, I started by making my mise en place for the chicken liver, and then after I got the mise en place finished, I started deveining and removing any sort of bruising that was on the liver. Once that was done, I started by searing the liver. While I was searing the liver, I had some time, so I took that time to prep my mise en place for my Cumberland sauce. Once my Cumberland sauce mise en place was finished, it was time to start flambeing the liver. Once I finished flambeing the liver, I put it into a blender and pureed it. While it was pureeing, I had some time, so I took my 35% cream and started whisking it till it got to stiff peaks. At this time, I was able to mix both the liver and the cream together, and whilst that was happening, my sauce was simmering down to get to a nice thick sauce. By the time I was done mixing, my sauce was finished and I was ready to plate. I plated the Cumberland sauce and then after the liver pate. On the third day, my work plan looked a little bit like this. I started by prepping the mise en place for the chicken force meat, and then once that was finished, I wrapped it in a little portion into a little plastic wrap and then threw that into a pot of water just to taste it to make sure the seasoning was correct. Once that was finished, I then proceeded to prep the mise en place for the chicken ballotine. What this looked like was getting my chicken stock, getting my water, and any kind of seasoning I liked. And the most important part, of course, deboning the chicken leg. Once I was finished deboning it, I flattened it out with a mallet just to make sure it was an even thickness to get that even cook. Once that was finished, I took my chicken force meat and put it in the center of the chicken ballotine, or the chicken leg, sorry, and I rolled that. And then once that was done, I began cooking that. While that was cooking, I wanted to start on my coulis sauce. So what that looked like was I set up my mise en place for the coulis, and then I began cooking all the ingredients together. Once both were finished, I then plated it and cleaned my workstation. During the process of this lab, I showed many culinary techniques and identified many control points. A large control point for this lab was cross-contamination with things like the chicken or the beef getting salmonella or E. coli. So I made sure to wash all appliances that were used in this process. Other culinary techniques I used would be knife skills, sauteing, flambeing, pureeing. During the process of this lab, I had to identify certain allergens, and out of all 3 products, these are the allergens that I found. The first being gluten for anyone that is celiac or anyone choosing to be gluten-free. The next would be dairy for anyone that's lactose intolerant. Some oils, and then obviously some vegetables. These are rare cases, but they are still allergens that are possible to get. Reflecting back on the lab, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot of new techniques and a lot of new dishes. I've never cooked a chicken ballotine, chicken liver pate, or even beef tartare. It was really exciting to get to try these new dishes and learn how to make them. I got to practice a lot of techniques such as cutting and whipping, which was really great, and it's really expanded my vision on what food can look like, such as the chicken ballotine, taking chicken force meat and putting it into a chicken leg. It's very creative and I really enjoy that side of culinary. Overall, it was a really great lab and I feel like I learned a lot. Thank you for watching.